All right, so welcome to the CALA's virtual membership meeting for January 20th, 2023. We're so delighted to host this meeting and have you all here. My name is Ray Pan, pronouns are he and him, and I am the CALA president for 2022 to 2023, and I'm honored to be serving alongside with all of you here. And it's been such a great experience. So there's so many things we're gonna go over, but just a few things first. I want to give a super shout out and thanks to our sponsor and donor, Overdrive, for their support. So they have donated to CALA for the past several years, and we want to continue recognizing their support. For those who are not familiar with Overdrive, it is an ebook and audiobook platform, and it's a database that really has shown really remarkable support for equity, diversity, inclusion collections, as well as supporting our association. I also want to recognize Dr. Kwana Bright, who is the assistant professor of library science at East Carolina University. Dr. Bright has donated funds to support CALA because she truly values and supports CALA. So if you know Dr. Bright, please feel free to reach out to her and thank her. So thank you again. So welcome everyone, new and potential members, returning members, life members, Spectrum scholars we've supported over the years. And currently we have about 600 CALA members. They're based in all over the world. We have members, of course, throughout the United States, as well as in Canada, in Singapore, China, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Macau, so many members throughout the world. And we really, really excited to be part of this global community, recognizing and supporting this association. So just a few virtual meeting guidelines. Feel free to keep your camera off, your microphone off. If you want to change your name in the chat, in the website, the Zoom, feel free to do that. Rename your first name and last name. Use the chat to ask any questions or comments. Keep chat on topic. And if you have a question you want to raise, you can use the raise hand function as well. And if you are dialing via phone, which I don't think anyone is, but feel free to message me and I could send the information over. And then of course, this meeting is being recorded for those who are unable to attend. So first, Happy New Year, Lunar New Year that's coming up. As my family would say, 恭喜發財, 恭喜發財. And such a opportunity here to have this virtual meeting, celebrating like a couple of nights before it starts officially, or tomorrow night. So we want to wish everyone here a prosperous New Year, Year of the Rabbit, and healthy and happy New Year ahead. So yeah, feel free right now, give a chance for everyone here in the chat box. Feel free to introduce yourself, your name, your institution and affiliation, and or if you are on a CALA committee or task force, please feel free to share. So I'll give a minute here before we proceed. Thank you, Cindy. It's so nice to see you here. Yeah, I'll cue you in I think the next slide. Hi, Angel. Thanks for making it over here as chair of our CALA Scholarship Subcommittee, and Christine being part of the mentoring committee. Thank you for sharing that and for your work. Thank you, Michael, for being here, our CALA Executive Director. Hi, Jen. It's good to see you here. Thank you for coming. Jen is our chair of Best Books and member of the Social Media Committee. Oh, thanks for letting me know, Edward. Please feel free to send them the registration link again. And Edward's part of our membership committee and our JCLC Call to Action Task Force member. Welcome, Tina. Thanks for being here. Vinci, thanks for making over our Vice President, President-elect. Min, thanks for coming. Our co-chair of Mentoring Committee. Heather, welcome. All right, so hopefully the link will work for other people to join. But in the meantime, yeah, we're gonna just sort of move on ahead. And first, I want to introduce to you our CALA member, Cindy Ho, who is running for ALA president. Cindy is the Kansas City Public Library Director, Kansas City Public Library works as a Director of Policy and Analysis and Operational Support. I'm gonna stop sharing here and give the floor to Cindy.
Hello, thank you, President Pun. I appreciate the opportunity to be here with all of you today. Hi, I'm Cindy Ho. Han mitaki yapi, that's hello relatives. Damakota isan teoete. I am Dakota of the Santee Sioux Nation. Ichi Takoja, Lyle and Philomene Henry. Unchi Janice Ate Robert. I am the granddaughter and daughter of Lyle, Philomene, Janice, and Robert. On Petuwash Day, today is a good day. And I thank you for allowing me to speak to the CALA membership today. I am a proud CALA member and always so appreciative of all of the good work that CALA does to support their membership and to provide educational resources, not only through the website, but through webinars and journals. So as we know, it's always a good time to reflect on the good work behind us as we're celebrating a new year, but also as we look forward. And I stand with all of you in service and solidarity in this work throughout the LIS field. There's always room for improvement when we're looking at diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I strive to uplift social justice throughout our systems. In my time during librarianship, this is my second career. I have taken every opportunity to make sure that I raise my voice and use my platform to represent everyone, to make sure that we are all seen as equals in this field and that our work is supported. In my work with all of our NALCOs, I am a member of every NALCO organization because it's important to me. When I say I'm committed to uplifting everyone, I truly mean that. And so it is an honor to stand for election in the American Library Association campaign that's coming up here. And I appreciate the opportunity to answer any questions from any CALA members.
Thank you so much, Cindy. We really, really appreciate you making time being here and for your work and for running for ALA president and being supportive of CALA. And I wanted to ask if there's anyone here with any questions or comments, please feel free to share in the chat box or raise hand feature and we can call on you. Well, a couple of comments here in the chat box. Well said, Cindy, and thank you, Cindy. So if there are no other comments or questions, yeah, so we'll proceed in the meeting. Cindy, you're welcome to stay, and thank you so much again, and good luck running.
Thank you. Have a good day.
All right, so we will proceed our meeting, and apologies if there is an issue in terms of going into the Zoom. I have changed the setting that you do have to be signed into a Zoom account to view it. So hopefully that shouldn't be an issue going forward. But just the membership orientation agenda. So we have our introductions, our welcome, a little bit about CALA, since there are some folks here who are new and maybe not familiar with CALA as an organization and what we do, and upcoming deadlines. So upcoming events, scholarships, travel grants, a whole bunch of things that you may have seen in the listserv, and any questions that folks may have. And at the end, we'll have time to have smaller group discussions, because I know there's a lot of folks who would like to get to know each other virtually, because we're not meeting in person, but there are ways to facilitate the connections here using technology. So first, for those who are not familiar, our mission statement for CALA, it is to support the professional development and research scholarship of CALA members, advocate Chinese American librarians and professional organizations, and enhance the leadership development of Chinese American librarians through training, mentoring, networking, and collaboration with colleagues in the United States and abroad. And we aspire really and inspire Chinese American librarians to meet professional goals and to make valuable contributions to the global library community. In our organizational values, we use our organizational values to determine where and how we operate in terms of making decisions, in terms of what to support, how do we bring in our attention and focus. We are a volunteer-led organization. That means everyone here is a volunteer in serving different roles in leadership, in committee work. So we need to be mindful of our capacity and our resources, but our values really help us feel grounded with common cause. And these are the values here: professionalism, advocacy, collaborative leadership, accountability, service to members, transparency, integrity, continuous learning, global perspectives, and positive and open inclusive environments. And we also have a bylaws and constitution page that tells us exactly our operational principles and procedures. And we are a nonprofit organization, 501(c)(3), and we are an independent organization. I think a lot of times people may think we are under ALA or we are part of ALA, but actually we are our own independent organization, just like the other National Association of Librarians of Color. So that might include the American Indian Library Association, the Asian Pacific American Librarians Association, and so forth, because we have operated independently. So CALA is a member of these groups. So when we say we are a member, we are either an affiliate or we are part of a larger group, but we are also independent. So as I mentioned, we are an affiliate of ALA. We do have a lot of connections with ALA. We have programs running through ALA and so forth. We are also a member of IFLA, so the International Federation of Library Associations and Institutions. So that means that we have CALA representatives in IFLA committees, and IFLA is really the Global Library Association. So there are associations across the world that meet once a year in this international conference called the World Library and Information Congress. And then we are also a member of the Joint Council of Librarians of Color. So I just named a couple of them earlier. So that includes the American Indian Librarian Association and the Asian Pacific American Librarians Association, as well as the Black Caucus of American Library Association and Reforma. So we all make up the Joint Council of Librarians of Color, and we have representatives in the board as well as in the conference planning, known as the steering committee, and all the committees that make up JCLC to support the conference that's coming up and that happens every 4 years. So we'll have more information about that shortly. So here's the list of our CALA Executive Committee. So the Executive Committee plays an instrumental role in decision-making and administrative and leadership support. Of course, we work closely with all the committees, all the different groups in CALA to ensure that CALA continues to operate smoothly as well as in the next direction. So I think we have Vinci and Michael here. Vinci, do you want to just say a few things or say hi?
Hi, everyone. I just want to say thank you for all your work and your interest in, your interest in CALA, and thank you. And if you kind of know anyone that is interested in joining us, so please feel free to spread the word. Thank you.
Thanks, Vinci. Michael?
Hi, everyone. Good to see you. Thank you very much for your support to CALA, and thank you for being a member or potential members of CALA. Thank you very much for joining us today, and I wish all of you happy Chinese New Year.
Thank you, Michael. I know that possibly Grace Liu might be on the call. Edward, do you know, or Grace, are you on the call? Okay, no worries. So we'll proceed from here, and we want to thank our executive committee for working with me on strengthening our decision-making process as well as leadership, because we all work together collectively to support CALA. And if there are any questions, you're welcome to always email the executive committee through this listserv, so xc@cala-web.org, if you have any questions. All right, so I also want to recognize our current CALA Board of Directors for 2022 to 2023. This is a 3-year term that meets 3 times a year or more. And so the Board of Directors is a decision-making body empowered by the general membership to adopt policies, appoint officers, as well as by the Constitution and bylaws. So it is basically working with the executive committee, and we're all always doing a call for new CALA Board of Directors members to serve on these 3-year terms and really help discuss and look at things like programming as well as budget and so forth. So we want to thank everyone here and recognize their work. So I will move on to the next slide. And we also have CALA chapters. So in addition, if you are a new member, if you may not be familiar with this, we have chapters throughout the country as well as in Canada. So we have chapter presidents, so people who are leading local meetups or groups, whether they might be webinars or in-person meetings, conferences, and so forth. And they all cover a variety of regions. So if you'd like to learn more, feel free to reach out to the CALA chapter presidents. And I want to pause here and see if there are any chapter presidents would like to say something. I don't know if we have anyone here. No, I don't think so, but I know that there will be more updates later. There will be usually annual programs from each of the groups. All right, so thank you for the chapter presidents for fostering the local connections. And now we also have standing committees and subcommittees and task force. So these are annual or reappointment committees where they work on different types of projects supporting CALA. And so it's a really great opportunity for folks who are interested in developing leadership in terms of steering a project management, as well as working with others, right, across different groups to like support these causes. So I want to recognize all of our chairs for this year leading this work, because it's all volunteer, right? It's all of us committing to supporting CALA. And so there's so many opportunities here. And I believe the next call will happen later in the spring. So feel free to take a look at that. And we also have more committees here and a lot of really important projects coming up. So thank you all for serving in the committees, task force, and subcommittees. And I wanted to highlight what our virtual activities have been from July of 2022 to November of 2022. So the first sort of six to 7 months during my term here, and we've had a lot of virtual engagements. So we've that are led by different committees. We have a session on IFLA led by the International Relations Committee, CALA SIS, which is our CALA repository for academic resources as well as documentation. From our CALA SIS subcommittee, we have a Path to Leadership information update that was led by me, Wenli Gao, who is the immediate past president of CALA, as well as Lian Ran, past executive director of CALA, and APALA executive director and current ALA president, Lessa Kanani Hua Paleo Lazada. So this was funded an IMLS project that we have been working on for a couple of years. And we have a JCLC virtual gathering and obtaining grants panel discussion. And this one, Cindy Ho was on this panel discussion as well. And CALA Board of Directors meetings and a leaders orientation. So some of these are recorded, so you can check it out in CALA channel on YouTube. So that's youtube.com/@CALA channel. Particularly if you're interested in like writing for grants or like what that looks like, feel free to take a look at the grant panel discussion, which was really interesting, as well as repository work for the CALA SIS training. And here's a little more information too. So I wanted to recognize some of the projects within CALA that has been crucial in supporting our mission, our operations, and so forth. And if you'd like to learn more, you can definitely join the different groups and participate. So CALA-SYS is our CALA Academic Resource and Repository System. We have a lot of collections here. Really want to recognize Sujun and Sai for putting this together over the years with many other people involved. If you're interested in contributing, creating your own researchers collection so you can share it out, look at this URL at ir.cala-web.org. So there's a lot of really interesting things, including posters too from last year. We have our CALA newsletter that comes up twice a year. And we have a special issue coming up on the 50th anniversary. So stay tuned for that. But if you want to look at the past CALA newsletters, feel free to take a look. There's a lot of great information there with interviews with CALA leaders, as well as programming or reports focusing on specific conferences if you're interested in. So it's a good way to see and learn more about CALA and its activities. And thank you to the newsletter co-editors and the subcommittee for putting this up and working closely on delivering this content for all of us to see and recognize. There's also some other CALA activities I wanted to shout out. The first is we have a mentoring program committee. So thank you to our co-chairs, Ning and Min, for leading these this committee. And so it usually starts in the summer. And so we pair a mentor and mentee, and then they foster a really good relationship for the year. And then we also have an assessment and evaluation committee led by Jia, who's been sending out surveys, as you may have seen in the listserv. And there'll be some other surveys coming up. So please feel free to look into it, fill those surveys out, because they inform what we need to do or consider and helps us rethink some of the things that can be done in innovative ways. And then we have our open access journal, the International Journal of Librarianship. So if you are looking to publish one of your projects, your papers, something that you want to work on, consider submitting it to CALA's Open Access Journal. So there is a call right now led by one of our guest editors, a CALA member, Jingjing Wu. And so this specific issue is focusing on leadership. So it's through the Public Relations and Fundraising Committee. So the deadline is March 15th, 2023. Feel free to reach out to Jingjing if you have some ideas or if you want to submit something. It doesn't have to be a formal research paper. It could be a field report, case study, or if you want to go through a full review, that's also welcomed. So these are some of the topics, including virtual leadership, building trust, effective communication, and so forth. And so I want to thank our co-editors-in-chief, Xiaoai and Yongming, for working on this as co-editors for this important publication under CALA. And we also have social media channels. In case you're not aware, we have a Twitter account, as well as a Facebook page and a WeChat group. So they're all pretty active. So if you're looking to get updates through different channels, please take a look at them. And feel free to follow up and see what else is there to learn more about CALA. And we have a new website migration. So I want to thank our CALA web team, Yifang Huang, for chairing it. So it's been quite a process because our website has been going through some discussions, and finally it's going through a migration. It has happened. And now we're working on revising some of the links and documents in there. So thank you for your patience, because I know some of the links were not working, and so we're working on that. And I want to give a shout out to Vinci for leading that with the web committee. So, but also it's a big undertaking to see this new website migrating over. So thank you to the web team for working on this. And as I mentioned earlier, there was a Path to Leadership project. This is CALA's, I think, third or fourth IMLS grant. So the IMLS is the Institute of Museum and Library Services. It's a federally funded program. So they give out grants, and CALA was a recipient, working closely with the Asian Pacific American Librarians Association, APALA, and we brought in over 100 people virtually last year to discuss the barriers and opportunities for leadership. About 30 to 40 CALA members participated, and it was so great. We were able to meet in person at ALA Annual Conference this past June in Washington, D.C. And if you were able to attend, that's great. You can see a photo here of everyone who was able to attend. And as a result, we had webinars, discussions, and a white paper leading and focusing on some of the discussions and the assessments of what barriers is and what types of leadership entails that works well for Asian American and Pacific Islander library workers. So it's a free white paper and some recorded webinars that you can view at apialibrarianship.org. And I also want to recognize our CALA members who were selected as ALA Emerging Leaders. Meng Chu and Amanda He, congratulations. We are so pleased and excited to see the work you're doing as CALA members going forward in your project. For those who are not familiar, the Emerging Leaders Project is within the American Library Association, and it's a one-year leadership project program where you are applying to work in a group with different other selected emerging leaders, and CALA does have sponsors, so we would support some of the travels and so forth, as well as ensuring that there's a project that really helps develop leadership for CALA members who are involved. I also wanted to recognize, as I mentioned earlier, we have CALA is a member of IFLA, and we have nominated representatives for the following IFLA sections. So these sections are what makes up IFLA. So we nominate these representatives and then they go on a ballot to be voted on. So we recognize our CALA members who are looking to lead and work and collaborate and work in these other groups. So the information literacy section, the continuing professional development and workplace section, library services to multicultural population section, and management of library association section. So good luck to all the folks running. And if you are an individual member, or if your institution, so your workplace is a member and you know who has the ballot, please encourage them to, or if you have the ballot, encourage them to vote for our CALA members running, because it's often a competitive process, but it'd be great to have more CALA members in these IFLA sections so that we are well represented. And then finally, we have some upcoming CALA activities, deadlines, and events. I'm not going to go through all of them, as you can see here. They're mostly just recognizing that we have a lot of travel grants, scholarships coming up, research awards, and we have the Lip Learn X that's coming up next week. So several CALA folks are going. If you'd like to be in touch with them, please feel free to reach out to me. There will be a call for posters for ALA annual conference in Chicago. And then the JCLC conference is coming up in a couple of weeks as well. So that should be a great opportunity for CALA members to join. And then the most important thing I wanted to actually call out is, well, one of the most important things is our 50th anniversary gathering. So CALA started in 1973 as a really small organization, Midwest, and then it grew over time to 600 members. And so we're going to send out more information shortly. And there will be elections, committee appointments, information, and book awards later as well. So feel free to take a look. And thank you, Edward, for sending out that link in the chat box. And so a lot of opportunities to engage and to attend. And now for those who are going to the Joint Conference of Librarians of Color on February 8th to 12th, if you'd like to attend, present, and connect, you're welcome to join the WeChat group if you have the WeChat app to connect with others. So this is the QR code, and it's valid only until the 126th. So that is closing up soon. But you can use this, use your phone to scan in and then join the group. And then somebody, I think either Michael or Wenli will accept your invitation to join the group to discuss. All right, so we will transition here to the 50th anniversary. So some information we wanted to share, as I mentioned earlier, we have some activities planned out, and we're really excited to recognize CALA turning 50. That's a really big milestone. And first is a preview. This was sent to the American Library Association's Council. So this is to recognize as a tribute resolution to recognize CALA's celebrating 50th anniversary, and it will be shared out through ALA membership as well as ALA Council meetings. And you can see here briefly, I will also email this out to the listserv next week. And so folks can take a look at it as well. So I really want to thank our past president, Hong Yao, for seconding, who's an ALA counselor, along with me to support this resolution and being recognized by ALA. And now, as I mentioned, I wanted to save the date. If the information will be out shortly at the end of this month on March 31st, Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Central, and 2 p.m. Eastern. It will be a virtual gathering celebrating CALA's 50th anniversary. So CALA in March of 1973 was formed. So we chose this date as the 50th anniversary completion. And then so more information will be shared out. And I wanted to give the Public Relations and Fundraising Committee a shout out for this amazing calendar. And if you are a CALA member, you are welcome to download this digital calendar. It was designed nicely and it's available through the link that Edward just shared. And so it's available for donation as well, if you know of others who are interested. And I wanted to see if there's anybody from the Public Relations and Fundraising Committee, or if Edward from the Membership Committee, if you want to say something.
Yeah, I don't know whether Ting is around here, but I know Wei Ling and Grace are having issues logging in. So I'll just make a quick word here. You will need to check out the calendar as a member. It's a free checkout process. You just need to check out, and then the link will be sent to you, and you can download the digital calendar. And it's really a call to sort of get CALA members or even non-CALA members to donate, right? And also to recruit new members if you're not in a position to donate, and to sort of volunteer and serve on some of the CALA committees. I just saw the news this morning that they're discontinuing Amazon Smiles. So, we need all the help that we can get in terms of donations. So this is a really beautiful calendar. It's in digital format. So please, log into the link that I shared earlier, and then you can check out and download the calendar. Yeah. Thanks, Edward. That's right. Yeah, there will be some changes with the Amazon Smile, which is on our website right now. I believe 519, let me see if I can unmute this. No, I don't think so. I tried asking to unmute. Yeah, thank you, Edward, for that. So I think we'll move on here. I just also want to share, Nick, in a few weeks, we're going to announce our CALA 50th anniversary store. So we have some really cool items with our logo. So if you have shirts you want to buy, mugs, tote bags, as well as I believe there are some items for pets, like pet mats. If you have cats, dogs, etc., it's really, really great and cool. So I will we'll send out that link later. Yeah, it's and all proceeds obviously will go to support CALA. And really want to thank our treasurer, as well as our 50th anniversary task force and public relations and fundraising committee for input on this. And stay tuned for that. And now I know I'm jumping ahead for like 6 months already, but we're sort of in the middle of January, but I'm already thinking about June. So June, we have already some dates and times. Of course, more information will be shared out as soon as we get them clarified. So in June, this is the American Library Association's annual conference in Chicago. And if you're going, that's great. We encourage you to maybe apply for some of the travel grants or whatnot, and ask for support from your institutions to attend, because we have a couple of events here from CALA. First is our President's Program, which we'll send out more information later, as well as our 50th anniversary social and poster presentations. As I mentioned, we invite CALA members to submit a poster and to be presented on at the ALA annual conference through CALA's poster session. And then there'll be like refreshments and so forth. So it's a great way to gather and reconnect after some challenging times. Even though last year we had an opportunity to connect in Washington, D.C., there's also an opportunity here to connect again in Chicago. And now I'm gonna just pause here. I know I was talking quite a bit.
just want to ask, what are some questions or thoughts do you have? And I also just want to say thank you for being a CALA member and leading with us. So if you want to share in the chat box or raise your hand, we can call on you, and so we don't have a conflict in too many people raising their hand at once to speak. Thank you. Looks like I see a comment here from Jen Wu. This is about the nominations for CALA's Best Book Awards. So thank you, Jen, for leading that work. And feel free to reach out and submit some considerations. So that is a great opportunity to recognize authors, illustrators who are of Chinese descent and their work related to that. All right, I'm seeing that, yeah, there's still some Zoom login issues, so apologies about that. Hopefully it won't reoccur again in the future. Christine, that's a good question. I personally think it's fine to go to any other events if it's virtual. I don't know if anyone else has any thoughts about that, but I'm sure they appreciate folks just CALA members coming together to learn. Great, thanks, Edward. That's right. Any other announcements or questions or folks want to share? All right, so I believe the next one is we're kind of wrapping up here with just having a small group connections. So we'll do this for about 15 minutes or so, sharing your name, affiliation, and any plans you have for Lunar New Year this weekend or whatnot. And it's nice to just hear from one another. And I know if folks have to go, please feel free, but I'm gonna just stop recording now.